Welcome to my channel. I'm Danny Marie AUC and I am very pale. Like ghostly pale. But why does that matter? Let's talk about it. If you guys want to support my channel, you can do so by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, any or all of the above. Welcome to my makeup corner. Not to be confused with my adjacent but completely separate computer corner. Also next to my podcast corner, but I digress. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So I have a genetic condition called albinism, and that affects the amount of pigment in my skin, hair, and eyes. Albinism is a huge spectrum, and I am on the very pale end of that spectrum. Whereas some people with albinism do look very much like their genetic relatives. So just keep that in mind as we go along. Now, for those without working eyes, I am probably the palest person you will ever meet. I am super pale, I have white hair, and I have purple eyes. If you want to learn more about albinism specifically, I'll link that in a card and below in the description as usual. Feel free to check it out when you're done with this video. Now, why is this a problem other than the sunscreen is my life implication? I, and many others like me who wear makeup, have a very difficult time finding a foundation shade that matches. Now, why is that? Anyone who falls to the extreme ends of the spectrum struggles to find foundation, and that goes for both ends of the spectrum. It makes it very hard to find something that matches. Now, I've tried quite a few foundations over the years, mostly in the affordable range, but there's been a few higher end ones mixed in, and I actually do have plans to try hopefully a couple more in the next few months. Thanks to Ulta's return policy. Thank you. I've been experimenting with makeup since I was about 18. Now, I am no pro, I'm no makeup guru, just so you guys know. But since I was 18, I've been trying slowly to find a foundation that works for me, blush colors that work for me, something I can do with my eyeshadows and mascaras that work well for me. And if you guys are curious about any of those things, I will be happy to make more videos about them. Let me know in the comments below. But makeup helped me feel more confident during a time when I was really struggling with acne. I had horrible cystic acne as a teenager and into my 20s. And makeup allowed me to try and cover some of that up and make myself feel a little more comfortable in my own skin. And for anyone who's ever had acne or any kind of blemishes or any kind of skin things that look different, you probably know where I'm coming from, because I already look very different because I'm very pale and I have very white hair. I stand out in almost any surrounding I end up in. And it's not always fun to be the one who stands out, because sometimes you stand out for reasons you don't want to stand out for. And for me, that's included acne. Now, what I've learned has mostly come through trial and error and YouTube videos, a ton of YouTube tutorials from people who do consider themselves to be makeup gurus. And I've learned a lot, honestly, over the years. For those who don't know, foundation is essentially the product that works as the base for blending blushes and contour and highlighter and any of those items that would normally go on top to add to your facial features. Foundation can be used to even out skin tones and cover up redness and cover up blemishes in my case and things like that. Now, of course, there are other products that go into creating the mask that is a made-up face, but you know, we're gonna leave that for some of the makeup gurus, or maybe another video if you guys enjoy this one. When choosing foundation, one of the very first things we need to find out is, what is your undertone? Now, an undertone is basically the underlying colors in your skin. There are three main undertones, and that is cool, warm, and neutral. Cooler undertones include colors like blue, red, and pink. Warm undertones include colors like green, yellow, and peach. And neutral undertones contain some combination of the two. Choosing the wrong undertone can result in an odd look. For me, as a cool undertone, meaning my skin tends to have notes of red underneath. If I look at my vessels in my wrists, they tend to look blue. Colors that look good on me in metal include silver and rose gold as opposed to gold. Now, choosing a foundation with a warm undertone or sometimes even a neutral undertone can end up looking yellow on my skin. So then my face becomes yellow, and it honestly, I can look a little sick if I wear the wrong undertone, or if a foundation oxidizes on me, which means that it turns darker when exposed to oxygen over time. Now, the same goes for someone with a warm undertone who ends up with cool undertone foundation. They too would end up looking odd and unnatural. So it is so important to find what your undertone is. Get someone to help you, someone who has working eyes, someone who may know a little bit about makeup, someone to help you. Get a couple of opinions. A couple opinions are better than one, if you ask me. But it's really important to get the correct undertone in your foundation. Next, we have to take into consideration things like whether your skin tends to be oily, dry, or a combination. Now, this can be a struggle, but most makeup lines have separate foundations for oily skin or dry skin or combination skin. And this is wonderful. It often translates into the finish of your makeup though. And by finish, I mean, does your foundation look dewy or wet on your skin when it dries? Does it look matte or more like a dry finish? Or is it some combination of the two? Now, once we've tackled undertone and finish and whether you have oily or dry skin, we finally get to the shade. This is where things get really interesting for me and others who are as pale as I am with a cool undertone. I have swatched 7 different foundations for you guys onto my arm to show you. These are each of these lines' lightest shade and lightest in a cool undertone if that exists. Now I'm going to read these off to you guys. They are L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in shade 201, Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in shade 201, L'Oreal True Match in shade C1, Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in shades F0.5. Now this was an online exclusive at Ulta. Clinique Even Better in shade CN 0.5 Shell, Revlon Color Stay Natural Finish in shade 110, IT Cosmetics CC Cream in Fair Light. This last one, the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, I was so looking forward to this one and I was so disappointed. So disappointed. So I've been looking for a lightweight CC BB cream that will cover my face but still be pretty lightweight. And I reached out to some albinism groups I'm in, and this one was recommended by more than one person. Sadly, it looks quite dark on me, as you can see in this picture. It's definitely not the color for me, and I will be returning it to Ulta and trying out my next experimental shade. But I was just so disappointed. This is the lightest shade they had in the CC cream, and it's so highly recommended. And I know IT Cosmetics is a solid brand, but again, I was just very disappointed. IT Cosmetics, if you're watching this, I'm not throwing any shade, but if you guys want to make a lighter CC cream, I will be here. I mentioned weight of a foundation. That is another variation that you find among various shades. You can get shades that are lightweight, you can get shades that are full coverage, medium coverage, or somewhere in between any of those. Now, the way you apply a foundation can also have an effect on its weight. If you use a makeup sponge, you normally get a lighter application. If you use something like your fingers or a brush, you tend to get a more full coverage application. But Whichever way you choose to apply your makeup products can usually be layered to the effect that you desire. Meaning, if you really like using a sponge and you want full coverage, just apply a little more until you get the level of coverage that you desire. I've tried many of the different application methods, including my fingers, including disposable sponges, including a makeup sponge, and including brushes. This is my favorite brush currently. It is called the Wonder Cover Complexion Brush, and it is soft and durable, and it does a wonderful job. I have actually used and washed this brush for a few years now. My most recent favorite foundations are the Makeup Revolution in F0.5. This has a very pink undertone. I love it very much, and it's very affordable. And the Clinique Even Better foundation in CN 0.5 Shell. Not as affordable, but long-lasting and pretty close in shade. It's actually the one I'm wearing in this video and have worn in most of my videos when I wear makeup. It's one of my go-tos, but I am looking for a new one to try. I would love to do more makeup themed videos on this channel. For those who are interested, please let me know in the comments below. And if you've seen my recent short, you will see that I will be doing some short videos showing you some makeup foundations and other items. And it'll be a little silly, it'll be a little fun, so come check those out as well. I've found that experimenting with makeup can be both fun and a little bit frustrating at times, so I figure I might as well make fun of myself in the process, because why not? So until next time, stay curious. Bye!